My name is Nick B, and let's jump into this week's futures overview. So, as always, starting with the Forex Factory calendar. Monday, not too much happening. I'm looking for specifically red label news. Tuesday, 10 a.m., we have consumer confidence. Wednesday, FOMC Waller speaks. Thursday, final GDP and unemployment claims, as well as pending home sales and revised consumer sentiment. And then Friday, we have core PCE price index and Fed Chair Powell speaks. Okay, so the beginning of the week might start off slow, but it's going to probably pick up midway. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. 1 second. All right. So, as always, let's start with ES. Let's bring this up to the daily. And let's talk about what happened last week. So we finally had that breakout of 52, 52 and a half, something it was like that. And we made new highs at 53.22, which is awesome. But, you know, we go up, but we have just enough room to go down. So is it possible we see 52 52 again? Very possible if price can't manage to retake 5300 again. I think it's healthy if we do come down here. I'd love it even if we revisited maybe the 5200 area. That definitely would be bought. But seeing as this was that breakout, I mean, let's see if the news events can stir us down. So I'm going to go ahead and place an alert for this week at 52, 52 and a half. Actually, this is fine. 52, 53, 75. That'll give me time to see if we break down that level or if we bounce off of it. That's in terms of downside. I can't put a probability on that, but that's one scenario. The second scenario, of course, is we break 53.22 and we just continue climbing towards 53.50 would be my first target, then 53.80, ultimately to 5400. But what are the odds? What are the odds maybe we just end up bouncing, excuse me, not bouncing, but breaking above 53.22, making slightly new highs and then entirely pulling back. So for now, I'm going to place my alert at 53.22.75. That's going to be a breakout to the upside. And again, definitely could target probably 5400, but first things first, 53.55. Again, now that we're on the 4 hour of ES, I am paying attention to the 20-day EMA as well because we're not really breaking down yet. We're kind of just pulling back. So 52.53 is a little bit um, aggressive to target right out the gate right now to the downside because this 20-day EMA we have at 52.82. If price decides to hold above it, especially on the 4 hour, we could recover that. And until we break above 53.22, I really can't call any moves or try to play anything off of here. Even if we do get a bounce of 52.82, I wouldn't be certain that we could go higher until we get a breakout or we get a breakdown. And that's just me personally. If the momentum shows us we have that possibility, let's do it. But again, the other thing is me personally as a trader into March, I had a few rough swings in the beginning of it, so I'm trying to ease the end of March and kind of take it easy. So going with what's logical to me, so it's either we get a bounce off of 52.53 ultimately for that retest and we continue higher, or we break 52.53 and maybe we could see more downside. The third scenario, of course, is 53.22 breaks out and we go higher. That's what I see with ES. Moving on to NQ. Again, I'm not really either factoring into I'm not factoring the news or fundies into what price action might do. It's just text for me. It's just price action. It helps me have clarity, I guess, with direction, and definitely helps me stay away from a bias, and also helps me identify where my mess ups are more quickly. So with NQ 18709, I have a resistance level plotted there. Let me edit that to 18709. That's going to be our breakout point to the upside that I'll be watching for. Really above 18709, um, 19,000 is literally right around the corner. I wouldn't be surprised if that's, the direction we take on. And again, if we can breach 18709 and hold above it, great. That's definitely going to be our target. to the upside, 19,000. Of course, we'll consider 18,800 first as well, that round number theory, and we'll go from there. Now, in terms of downside, I'm looking for on the daily my 20-day EMA, and it's a perfect support here. You could see it's been holding price action up. We've visited and so far have been bouncing off of it. So the 20-day on the daily for NQ is 18,258. Okay, so that's going to be probably our base support. If we want to consider shorting, we'd have to see a breakdown and a close below 18,258 as of now. However, the closest support and the most logical one is at 18,506, and I'm going to go ahead and plot that. The reason for that level is because it was our previous all-time high that we managed to make, and then we ended up pulling back exactly to 18,000 before making this monster move, 700 points to the upside um, afterwards. So definitely have to factor this in, even though we did tap on it last week on Friday. So I guess we could consider that this retest has been completed, but I still want to keep an eye on this level because if we get a breakdown of 18,506, basically, we could see, a possible trend lower down, at least towards the daily 20-day EMA, and that's probably what I would be targeting. So I'm going to place an alert here at 18,506. Now, the other thing I do want to give a heads up on is if we do end up coming down to 18,506 this week and we end up bouncing off of it, I've honestly, well, hold on. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. So the 4 hour days are 20-day EMA. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I honestly wouldn't look to play a bounce off of it. I wouldn't try to attempt to go long off of 18,500 or 506 because the probabilities are it's a 50-50 move because we're basically between the floor of 18,500 and 18,709. So the only feasible move in terms of upside or downside is either a breakout of 18,709 and we got the green light to go long as it's above there, or below 18,506, we'll have that room to come down to the daily EMA, 20-day EMA, which was at 18,200 and change, and that seems to be the last higher low that we made roughly around that area. So that makes sense. I wouldn't be, too quick to short at that level either. I'd really, if I wanna short on the Nasdaq, which is counter trend trading, really take out 18,000. Below 18,000, yeah, I'll put my bear hat on. But for now, I think we're in a floor. There's nothing feasible as long as we're between it. I understand it's a 200 point range, but trying to kind of time the moves in between, not my cup of tea. I like my peace of mind, and I like a little more certainty on my side. So with that said, that's all she wrote for this week. I hope you have a great and a solid trading week ahead, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.